Welcome to Cold Hard Football Facts on Football Nation. Time for our Bet On It segment. I'm Butch Stearns. He's Kerry Byrne. Giants are 3-point favorites in Washington with an over-under of 51. Let me say that again. The Giants are favored by 3 on the road in Washington. The over-under is 51. This is the Monday night football game. The Giants beat the Redskins in Week 7. What do you like about this game?
Well, you know, what's interesting is the Wise guys have pegged it right to that score last time. The Giants won by 4, and there was 50 points scored. This week, the over-under is 51. The Giants favored by 3. So it's interesting just because there's so many points. You know, a lot of these, there's been a lot of big games with big over numbers, over-under numbers this week. This one, 51. And if you just look at, games throughout the season this year, that's not a good bet. I mean, the over in 32 games where the over-under was 51 or better, the unders come in 20 times, only 12 overs. So when you see that big number, you want to kind of think small. They don't usually hit those big numbers, unless it seems if it's the New England Patriots playing and they just beat the over by themselves, as we talked about last week.
And the Giants, this stat kind of surprises me. Yeah. You have the Giants' record in over-unders, 10 over and 15 under since 2000 in games like this. They always seem to be in these games, but they don't seem to go over most of the time.
Yeah, like I said, you see the big number, think small. It just, I think we all get excited for big offenses, and we want to see those points scored, and we all expect it. But it doesn't usually happen. It doesn't happen as often as you'd like. So just be judicious when you're looking at those big numbers.
And these numbers you're getting from Spreadopedia.
Yep.
Talk about Spreadopedia real quick.
Spreadopedia, you go into Spreadopedia. It's one of our premium products at Cold Hard Football Facts. Inside, you click the Insider Picks and Trends button. Sign up for a weekly pass or a season pass. And what Spreadopedia does, it's a database of every score, point spread, over underline since 1978. Click a couple buttons. It takes seconds, literally takes seconds to look up this information and find winning trends each and every week.
So, for example, you want to look at the coaches, and you did it this way with Tom Coughlin.
Well, I'm a big Tom Coughlin guy. Spreadopedia has made me, I've always liked Tom Coughlin as the best big game coach in football, but Spreadopedia has made me appreciate him as an against the spread warrior. He has a great, his career record, 89 and 61 straight up, but not much worse against the spread. That's supposed to be a 50-50 proposition. He's still 22 games over 500 in his career against the spread. That's a pretty good number. That's a pretty good coach and underestimated a lot of times. And versus the Redskins, he's had a great career, 12 and 5 straight up, and a little, not a lot of meaning in the 9-7-1 against the spread line, but he usually beats the Redskins, he usually wins, and overall in his career, he usually beats the spread.
And then you look at Coughlin versus Mike Shanahan. Young football fans are saying coach of the Redskins versus coach of the Giants, but these guys coached other teams not that long ago.
Well, part of the reason this is intriguing is, they were Coughlin was coach of the Jaguars many moons ago, and Shanahan the coach of the Broncos. They coached 5 games together, so I want to kind of run how they performed against each other. It's pretty interesting. Coughlin owns the straight up record. 6 and 5 straight up against Mike Shanahan, but only 3 and 8 against the spread. One of the few coaches who consistently beats. Coughlin consistently loses against the spread. And by the way, in Jacksonville, 5 games, Coughlin was 2 and 3 straight up. Shanahan got the best of that rivalry. Coughlin 2 and 3 against the spread, but the over and under 5 times. They went over every single game. But one of the great games, one of the reasons Coughlin's the best big game coach in football. In 1986, he took the second-year expansion Jacksonville Jaguars at 9 and 7. Into Denver to face great John Elway and the Denver Broncos at Mile High Stadium. They were 13 and 3. It was Elway's year to win the Super Bowl, Butch. And Tom Coughlin engineered the upset at Mile High, ruining what people thought at the time was John Elway's last best chance to win a Super Bowl. So he plays big in big games. His teams play big in big games.
Well, besides the fact that the people that were happiest about that were Patriots fans besides Jaguars fans, because that meant the Patriots got to host the AFC Championship game at home, and they won it and went to the Super Bowl.
And I know you're old enough to remember, Butch, but there was a time where the Patriots couldn't beat the Broncos. The Broncos owned the New England Patriots, and the Patriots would not have gone to the Super Bowl that year to be sacrificed at the altar of Brett Favre had Jacksonville not gone into Denver and beat the Broncos that year.
Oh, that's because Bill Parcells didn't start Troy Brown and Desmond Howard scored at the time. Forget it.
You have a whole conspiracy.
We all know that stuff. He's Kerry Byrne of ColdHardFootballFacts.com. This is our Bet On It segment. Tell people how they can get your picks and get Spreadopedia.
Yep. Just click the Insider button, Insider Picks and Trends here at Cold Hard Football Facts. Sign up for a weekly pass, only $9.95. You can re-sign up each week. You can, come and go as you please. We'll sign up for a season pass now through the Super Bowl. All our real and spectacular picks and all that great information from Spreadopedia, Butch.
Check all the content at ColdHardFootballFacts.com.